So for my project, I did it on sleep habits and how they affect the way that we act. Sometimes if you don't get enough sleep, it can cause serious sleep deprivation, and that can lead to moodiness, and it can cause us to be very temperamental. And the Bible says that we need to be slow to anger, and if we are not getting enough sleep and it causes us to be moody and very temperamental, it's really bringing down our testimony because we won't be slow to anger. So if we get sleep deprivation and we're not listening to our body, we need to remember that we're not invincible. When we don't listen to our body and we choose to ignore the fact that we are tired, then it's going to cause disorders, and that's not going to be good. So if your excuse for not getting sleep is that you just can't sleep or that you don't feel like it, remember to go to God, because in Him we will find rest. And if you have some unfinished business with Him, or you haven't prayed or done devotions, then that could be a reason, but in God you will find rest. So for my problem, it was how does stress and a very disorganized routine and no exercise affect your sleep? My hypothesis was that less stress and a good stable routine and more exercise will cause us to sleep better, and the better we sleep, the better we will function. So for my procedure, I had 4 test subjects, which were Nicole and Erica and Chris and Zach Zimmer. And for the first week, I had 3 environments I needed to create. The first one was stress. So for the stress, I gave them brain teasers, which they were allowed to do during the disorganized routine for about 5 to 7 minutes. And once that time was up, they weren't allowed to work on it anymore. The second environment that I needed to create was a disorganized routine. For example, on Sunday, the first thing they needed to do was get a drink of water and then go to the bathroom, brush their teeth, take off their makeup if it was needed, wash their face, get in their pajamas, do a brain teaser, and then it was time for bed. Whereas on Tuesday, they needed to do a brain teaser first, then take off their makeup and get in their pajamas, brush their teeth, and go to bed. So it was a very crazy, disorganized routine that they needed to do. And the third environment was that they were not allowed to exercise during these times of the routine. So for the first week, the way that they slept was very up and down and very unstable, and overall they weren't sleeping as well, and a few of them were very crabby or hyper, and it wasn't great. So for the second week, I needed to create 3 environments, and the first one was less stress. So for the less stress, I had them listen to some calming music to hopefully calm them down and relax them a little more. The second environment was an organized routine, which they had to follow the same routine for the whole week. So for that routine, they had to take off their makeup first if it was needed, and then exercise and get water, and then get in their pajamas, put their hair up if that was needed, wash their face, go to the bathroom, go to bed, read a book, and then it was lights out and listen to the calming music until they fell asleep. The third environment was they needed to exercise. For example, they had to do lunges and push-ups and wall sits before bed. And that was hopefully to get them more relaxed and more focused on what they were doing. So for the results, the organized routine week, they slept so much better, and it was more stable, and they were less crabby, and they had a better testimony for Christ. So it helped them to sleep better, and they felt more refreshed and relaxed that week, and it was a lot better. So overall, having a stable routine and schedule for your sleeping really does affect the way that we act. It will help us to be a better witness for Christ, and it'll keep your testimony alive. And this project showed that it supported my hypothesis in that less stress and a stable routine and more exercise will help you sleep better. And advice would be to relax before bed and focus on what you're doing. Don't focus on what you need to do later or what you did already. but focus on what you're doing then, and then right before bed, focus on God, so that He can be the last thing that you do before you go to bed, and the first person that you talk to in the morning. And overall, He will give you rest.